All right. I wanted to talk to you guys. Okay. Men are second class citizens. It's true. Women may not want to admit it. That's okay. We're second class citizens. The only thing that's made specifically for men is deodorant. Yeah. Just for men, hair, dye. That's it. Everything else, the opportunities in college. The only good thing about more women going to college is a scam anyways, so that's fine. But it is what it is, guys. Think about it. Think about it for a second. In culture, men are second class citizens. And why? We don't go out and adamantly hate on men. We just make women a protected class. What we do is we make protected classes, and what's left over, not so much. I mean, look at family court for the first example. Women want marriage more than men. Okay, but then they also initiate most of the divorces, 70 to 80%. And then they get a lot of the custody, more than half the time. They get how much? A lot more. Okay. When's the last time you heard of a woman getting screwed over because of a divorce with custody? Oh, the woman has to pay 80% of her value to the man because he just sits home and he gets the kids. That's hard to do. Eminem is the only person I know is a man that got custody of the kids. Of course, everybody's going to have their own anecdote. Oh, I know a guy who blah, blah, blah. And they're probably not even telling the full story. They're going to say some crap. I know a guy who got more, custody. And it's probably not even true. And they're probably not even explaining a lot of the facts. So yeah, men are second class citizens. All this thing about this rage bait about unequal pay, men get paid more than women. It's propaganda to make women angry and demand more power for them. This is how they do it. They do it through acting like we're unequal and we need equality, but only for the things where women are behind. They don't want equality where the things where men are behind, such as family court. No woman is advocating a law that says, by law, because we're not judging people, 50% of the time, men should get the custody. I'm not going to say that. So, let's say this. Men, we're subtle second-class citizens. We're not a protected class, especially white men. And that's okay. But don't expect men to assimilate in the culture that the progressives are creating. Okay? Think about the 1700s, USA, even the 1600s, barren land, wild. There's other cultures there like hostile Native Americans. Not all of them were, nice people. They were actively killing Americans too. White Americans. So think of 1700s USA. Could women make it there alone? No. See, men tame chaos. We tame wild lands. And then afterwards, after there's docileness, we create government. And then the government gets co-opted. The government wants more power. How? It convinces women that they're suffering. Women don't get to vote. It's not really that women didn't get to vote. It was one family, one vote. It used to be one landowner, one vote. So one family, one vote. You think the man is not going to listen to his wife? Now he's the head of the household. And since we've lost that, we've kind of lost the game. But it wasn't that women couldn't vote and only men voted. It was one family, one vote. And there were plenty of men that couldn't vote, especially in the beginning. You needed land, you needed assets, a stake in the country to vote. It wasn't that it was sexist. That's what they're not teaching people. They're not... Okay, women didn't get to vote until 1920, but don't act like it was sexist. Because some men didn't get to vote either. Some white men didn't get the vote because they didn't own land. That wasn't sexist against men, and no one's arguing that. Women are, in many ways, that men are not, fearful creatures. I'll give you an example. First of all, they have to take care of babies, so they have to be thought of as what's the worst that could happen because they want to protect the baby. The man is supposed to go out there and conquer the world and bring home the beef. So he's not supposed to think about the worst that could happen. He's supposed to think about the family and provide. But women are taught, well, God taught them to be fearful creatures because they have to take care of the baby. They have to think of the worst case scenario. So I'll give you an example. You're driving and you see someone crossing the crosswalk. If it's a female, she's going to be running across. She's going to be scampering across. But if it's a man, he's going to be walking slow. So slow, you in your car going fast have to slow down. He's trying to punk you. He doesn't even care if he gets hit. He's going slow. So think about that. That's an example of women having instilled fear because they have more to protect. They have their eggs. They could be pregnant, but they have their eggs. They have life to protect, while men are definitely more disposable. And again, there's plenty of facts that show there's sexism against men as well, and we're just not talking about it. But that's okay. That's because there's an agenda. What else we got? I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm saying it is what it is. I just want to say truth. Of course, there's going to be people who disagree. Usually when people disagree, it's because they can't handle the truth, so they have to think of some different examples. Maybe they've been sheltered and they have different life examples to draw from. But think about it. Feminism is akin to Gavin Newsom, what we have in California. At this current moment, it's poor management. Oh, my cake is ready, guys. I gotta get going. But lastly, what does fear get you? It gets you mask mandates in COVID. And I don't want to hear people talk about stop mentioning COVID and all that stuff. Listen, people bring up lots of tragedies and lots of things that happened in the past further than 2020. Yeah. The only people that are saying stop mentioning the COVID mask mandates and how crazy that was, how restrictive that was. They're pro masks anyway, so they don't even care, and they would do it again. And just a side tangent, I'm going to end the thing now, but just one last side tangent that I haven't fully thought of this thought yet, fully ironed it out, but when the end goal of the left, the totalitarianism, okay, they want to dictate mask mandates, and if you go against them, they want to seize your bank accounts, freeze your bank accounts. Look at Canada, for example. Okay. But then when they're not fully ready to have the totalitarianism enacted, like they want to put, ID to go on the internet, internet ID. Well, that's not ready yet. So they first have to sow chaos. So what they do is they let a bunch of illegal immigrants in. So it seems like laissez-faire calmness is really just the plan to set up a future attack, which is you set up the problem, okay, and then you create the problem, and then you give a solution afterwards that's created, such as 9/11 happens, and then they already had the Patriot Act written, but that's when they released the Patriot Act as a solution. But it was their own inadequacies in government that caused it to happen. They didn't need to punish the people. We should have punished the government and said, FBI and CIA, you should be talking to each other. There was many failures that could have prevented it without the Patriot Act. So my point is, the only time you'll see someone on the left being laissez-faire is when they're setting up the totalitarianism that's going to come. So let's let in a lot of illegals, probably a lot of sleeper cells from Iran and other countries. I mean, if you're China, that's an attack vector that you can clearly take advantage of. So you do that. You let a lot of sleeper cells into America. And then you let the attacks happen. And then you provide the solution. You say, hey, well, first of all, let's let all the illegals vote. Second of all, let's have that internet crackdown. And who knows what else they would have done, but it would not have been more freedoms. All right, guys. Remember, America is not a melting pot. It was created by a culture. One culture that should not be dismissed. Oh, we're a democracy and we're a melting pot. No, no, no. We're a republic and we were built on fundamental values. Those values culminated in, well, the Declaration of Independence, but the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. That's all I got to say today, guys. We're going to take a break and eat our cake. At the end of the day, there's nothing any of us can do except express ourselves. So that's it. Much love.